So in this video I would just like to take around about 5 minutes to help you to understand exactly what it is that you can expect throughout this course, because I haven't held anything back. In case you haven't already noticed, the course is around about 14 or 15 hours in length, which comprises of I think around about between 90 to 100 different videos. And we've also added in just over 50 downloadable resources. Now when I'm talking about downloadable resources, some of which are going to be graphically designed, just the ones that I use in the context of my own practice, ones that I'm going to urge you at various points throughout the course to download and go through on your own. But then accompanying most of those workbooks are going to be ungraphically designed versions, which I'm going to urge you to download, print off. You can repackage, you can re-communicate, re-present, and use in the context of your own practice. All right, on other people, those that you're going to go on to eventually, hopefully, life coach at some point in the future. So we've created this as a really holistic resource, one that's going to enable you to just pretty much get started right away, if you so choose. So how the course is going to be structured, all right? This section we're going to be just laying the foundations, so we're not going to be delving that unbelievably deeply throughout this section. We're going to be laying a few principles, a few ideas, just helping you to understand exactly where the next few sections are going. If you like, see this course as being like building a house. All right, we're going to start with laying the foundations, because the foundations are the most important element of any construction. All right, think about it. If the foundations aren't strong, then it doesn't matter how high up we go on to build. We're building on very shaky ground. So throughout this section, it may not feel like we're going that particularly deep, but that's not my intention. If you want depth, I promise you I will not disappoint, especially when it comes to the core values and the core belief section. All right, we're going very deep in those sections. Some of the sections of the course you're going to find to be more practical than others. For example, the core values section, we're going to be going very, very deep, whereas the goal setting section is going to be very, very practical. Some sections are going to have more exercises and more activities for you to practice than others, but overall, we're hoping that you're going to find the course very, very balanced. All right, that is my aim anyway. In this section, as we've mentioned, it's just pretty much a basic introduction section, getting you prepared for the sections that follow. In the next section, we're going to be looking at how it is that we operate from the inside out. All right, because most people respond to life and assume that life is lived from the outside in. For example, as a life coach, people will come to you in the future and say, "This person's said this or done that, and it's made me feel like this," which means that many people assume and have grown to believe that their outside worlds determine their inside worlds, and their inside worlds being how they think, how they feel, what they believe, and how they choose to act and respond and behave. But this very much isn't the case. Now I don't know where you kind of stand with this, but I'm hoping that throughout the next section I'm going to convince you that what I say is true. I'm going to hopefully be able to demonstrate and prove myself, which leads us on to beliefs. What I'm going to help you to understand is the nature of the most limiting and damaging beliefs that people can develop about themselves as human beings, which actually act as the root cause of the reasons why people don't do the things that they really want to do in life. You see, I do appreciate that there are some life coaching programs out there that focus mainly just on the goal setting and the to-do lists and getting out there and doing stuff. But what I want to help you understand is that we can do as much goal setting as we want with our goal setting clients, but if they have limiting beliefs about themselves, well, it's always going to be these beliefs that hold them back. So what I'm going to help you to be able to understand and identify is these beliefs, so that you can manage them and deal with them first before you go wasting time setting goals which they most likely wouldn't go on to fulfill or accomplish or achieve anyway. So we're then going to look at the core identity. All right, we're going to be asking and answering huge questions such as, who are you? helping your clients to answer these very same questions, helping them to become secure in who it is that they are, because many people in life develop and build and base their security upon many factors that are external to them, such as the amount of money that they have in the bank, their status, their rank, their position, the role that they play in society or in a personal or professional context. Many people will determine their significance in life by how much stuff that they have. And what I'm saying is that these things are not strong enough nor sustainable enough foundations for us as human beings to build and base our lives upon. So what we are going to do is establish some truth-based facts about our core identities and how it is that you can help your future clients understand themselves holistically, honestly, from the inside out. We're then going to be looking at core values. Now, our core values are the things that drive us in life. Core values determine and influence every single decision and choice that we make in life. You see, many people don't understand why it is that they actually do many of the things that they do. So when we come to understand core values, as life coaches, we are going to become far more effective at helping our clients to make wiser and more well-informed decisions. I promise you, if you've never experienced me teach this before, this one section, core values, I promise you're going to find to be absolutely fascinating, not just for yourself, but also as you then figure out how it is that you can transfer this knowledge, information from yourself onto those that you go on to coach. We're then going to look more practically at communication skills, communication styles. We're going to look at some various language patterns that you can use to bring out the best in your clients. Now, I'm not just going to bore you with random stuff such as open questions, closed questions. I'm going to assume that you understand the Billy Basics. So I'm going to speak to you and give you some slightly more advanced stuff. The kind of questioning techniques that you can use to really help your clients get to the root of their problems in as short a time as physically possible. And the reason why this is important is because people are impatient. And in the same way that there's going to be impatient people watching this video right now, thinking, "When are you going to get to the good stuff, Kane?" Your life coaching clients at some point in the future are going to be judging you in exactly the same way. They're going to be looking and evaluating and assessing and asking the question: are you gonna deliver? Are you able to do what you claim to be able to do? Are you going to be the person who can help me out of my predicament? So sometimes it's not what we say, because we can have all the greatest information and the frameworks and the goal-setting techniques and exercises in the world, but if how we communicate them isn't the way in which our clients need us to communicate them, then they're not going to accept them and they're not going to embrace them. Which means that the progress that they then go on to make is always going to be minimal. And guess who that's going to come back to haunt? Not me. It's going to come back to haunt you. So this is absolutely imperative if you're taking life coaching as a profession that you would seriously like to get into moving forward into the future. So then we're going to look practically at goal setting. And to be honest with you, this section here is very, very exercise and action orientated. There's pretty much an exercise or a worksheet attached to every single video. All right, which we're going to urge you to work through on one level, but then on another level, we've also made an unbranded version of the worksheet available that we're going to urge you to download, print off, and keep in your repertoire of life coaching tools and resources. We've done all of the hard work so that you don't have to. All right, I promise we have really served you with this course. What I'm then going to go on to share with you lastly, which is going to kind of bring the whole course to a close, is the life coaching framework that I use. It's a 7-step model that allows me to evaluate, assess, and recognize exactly where it is that people are. And it also allows me to be able to see what it is that's actually holding people back. This 7-step life coaching framework is a framework that you can apply to all people. It doesn't matter what problems they come to you with. I promise you're going to find this absolutely fascinating and so unbelievably insightful. It's one that has really revolutionized the way in which I practice life coaching, therapy, or whatever, and I know that it's going to make a huge difference for you too. Throughout the course, I'm going to share with you just random life coaching practicalities, and by this, I'm going to share with you hints and tips about things that you can begin looking at. It might be some various websites, some online resources. Because if you want to be a life coach, it's one thing mastering your craft, but then it's something else building a business. So I'm going to be just dropping in little hints and tips. Although this course isn't solely focused on you actually building a business, there's loads of other online courses out there that can teach you how to build websites and all that. And I'm not that technically minded, but I do know the basics, and it's these basics that I am going to share with you. Lastly, what I would like to mention at this stage, and this is going to be important to get this in right at the start of the course, is that this course isn't complete. It's not perfect. I'm not a perfect man, so if you're expecting perfection, then I'm going to disappoint you, and I most likely already have. So I do apologise for that. But if you are perfect, then please get in touch and let me know how you do it. What I'm going to say here is that towards the end of the section, I've assigned a full section to the course, which I'm going to answer your questions. Because if, as you're watching through the various sections, you feel that there's something that I haven't explained as in depth as what you would like me to, then don't slander me. Don't shoot me down. Let me know. Ask me, because if you identify a problem with the course, there's a pretty good chance that other people have too. Now, I've committed pretty much the extent of my lifetime to this course. This is the culmination of my life's works. Call it what you will. And what I really want to do is I want to make it as comprehensive as physically possible, as I've already mentioned. So by you asking me your questions, I'm going to take the best questions that I feel are most relevant for everyone taking the course, then answer them in video format. So moving forward, yes, the course already is quite extensive, but it's going to get even more so. And towards in the last closing sections, I'm going to leave you with a recommended read list. Everything that I've read over the years that has really benefited me. You don't have to take the stuff on board. Take it, leave it. It's entirely up to you. But I'm going to share it with you anyway. So I share all of this with you to help you manage your expectations. This is exactly what we're going to be covering. I'm not going to be covering anything less. And in the next video, let's just not waste any more time and let's just get started. So I'll look forward to seeing you again in a few minutes.